in Ottawa.
Somber notes from the last post echoed through the capital as thousands gathered at the National War Memorial. Pride and pain etched on their faces, they paused. A time to remember, to reflect, to pay tribute, not only to those who lost their lives in the battlefield, but also to the ones who struggled with deep battles within.
We grieve that for some, they have felt no other option but to end their lives.
Powerful and poignant, the ceremony included the Governor General, the Prime Minister, and this year's Silver Cross mother, Colleen Fitzpatrick, whose son Darren died in 2010 after stepping on an improvised explosive device in Kandahar.
At a time of tragedy, our family has tried to keep Darren's legacy alive. Darren was such a positive, full of life individual that that's what he would want.
More than 100,000 Canadians have died at war. This year, especially significant, the 100th anniversary of the Battle of Beaumont-Hamel, a massive tragedy for the Royal Newfoundland Regiment. Of the 800 soldiers who ran to push back the Germans on July 1st, 1916, only 68 were available for roll call the next day. Grade 8 students from Newfoundland in Ottawa today to honor the fallen.
It's amazing how they sacrificed their lives just so we could live freely on this earth.
All generations of Canadians coming together to renew their pledge never to forget. Omar Sachedina, CTV News, Ottawa.
In London today, thousands gathered around the cenotaph at Victoria Park to pay tribute to the fallen, those who survived and those who served. Our Sean Irvin was there and found just a few of the touching and honorable stories in the crowd.
Before the heroes of this generation and generations gone by came the heroes no longer on parade. They include 97-year-old Bill Thompson, a veteran of the Second World War.
Well, I look back on those days because they were dangerous days, but I was a survivor.
A survivor who today braved the cold to remember the fallen, with his son, a retired London fire captain.
He was a little hesitant about coming down, but once we get him here, he's always good.
And for Bill, facing a November chill is far easier than battle.
I landed on D-Day into France, and I was in only a short time, and I was hit with shell fire.
Bill's voice remains to tell his story, yet so many never return to tell theirs. And it's the fallen that Londoners pause to remember. Those reflecting included veterans from Parkwood Hospital, as always on special buses, giving them an opportunity to participate. Also here, the young in uniform and the young just beginning to learn what remembrance means. The crowds were comforting for veterans.
This brings back a lot of memories. I meet a lot of my boys. Some are younger than me.
And those young veterans were here too. They looked on as the Wilson family remembered their fallen son and brother, Trooper Mark Wilson. It was a chance for some to reflect on their own losses in Afghanistan.
For myself in particular, it's the 25 soldiers who died on my last deployment in Afghanistan and over 100 wounded that we suffered at the same time. So when you have that 2 minutes of silence, that's what I look back on and that's what I think of.
And as members of one of the greatest generations fade away, those who remain remind us to keep remembering the freedom they achieved for us.
It's important that we follow through, that the younger generation will follow through and remember that the people that made Canada was on that D-Day.
Sean Irvin, CTV News.
Among the smaller communities holding Remembrance Day ceremonies was the town of Wingham. Several hundred paid their respects at Wingham's cenotaph. Young children too young to remember the conflict mixed with war veterans in the touching tribute, which lasted for the better part of an hour. Over 30 local organizations and individuals laid wreaths during the ceremony. Most businesses in the downtown core closed up shop as a sign of respect to the war dead. If you would like to see more pictures from ceremonies across the region and the entire Remembrance Day service today in London, check out our website at london.ctvnews.ca.